Right, this is my third take of doing this. The first time, I messed up and had a lot of errors. The second time, um, had my mic mute, which was kind of annoying. So hopefully, fingers crossed, we can get through this one. So, um, I feel as if it's been an obligation to tell you guys what I've been working on. I apologize for not communicating with you guys a bit more, especially with screenshots and evidence of me working. But I can rest or just be rest assured because I am working. As Mr. Justice knows, I'd spent 12 hours on developing one simple thing. I'll just dive into it because I'm kind of sick of having to re-explain everything. But yeah. One thing to note is that when you first get my game mode, you will have to go through some setup procedures which require you to drag and drop this, change the IP and everything to what you need, and do a few server restarts. So over here, it's connecting to database, and it'll tell you that it doesn't have a database to connect to. So you have to restart after that. And then after this, you should see that there is no regiments table, which you definitely need. So restart, and then after that, once you load up, it should be able to create everything and give you everything else. To which then you should see this table, which shouldn't be there now, but or in the future, but it will be there for me at the moment, which will say we have gotten everything we need, we're good to go. Like I said, I do give you the privilege of having a default regiment that's custom created by me, which is clearly just not simple config work. And of course, ranks, which is similar. I give you a little template to go off to understand and look around. But yeah, so let's just quickly reconnect to my server. To reiterate, I've only worked on the UI or the in-game creation function. I've really been working on anything else because I've been so busy. So just to take a look, you do have the option to go regiment leader or administration if you are both of these. So if you're a moderator and a regiment leader, this allows people to just navigate in between certain things. In this case, regiment leader does work, but I don't have any characters at the moment you can search for. So at this current time, I have ceased this area. If I can say that. But yeah, that does work. I just need to add in characters. If I were to go over here, first thing we'll go through is core. Core is just ranks really, so nothing too major there. I'm curious. Okay, it seems like I fixed it. Just a note too, with this animation, although it's pretty cool, this ends up does like stretching across to the borders of this area, so just bear that in mind, it does happen. I'm trying to work a way to fix it. Right, so core allows you to edit, manipulate, whatever you want to call a certain rank scheme or structure. So in other words, it's quite diverse in how you can create stuff. So under here, pretty cool animations again, but under here you can see all the ranks I've given you. I've also created this here as like a clearance thing. So for example, junior officers have clearance level 4, and senior officers have level 5. Again, this is up to you, but I can always change this to like 1, 2, 3, 4, and blah blah blah. It doesn't really matter. Anyways, so moving on, if you can also create ranks like usual, so if that's SNCO, sorry. So you want to create a new rank and then do the one after that, which I think is Warrior 2. Well, in my area there's no such thing as Master Sergeant, but for me it's Warrior 2, like such. And you can even move it down and up in the ranking scheme. If you select it, doesn't matter where it is, you can select the moving up and down. And you can even remove it. Mind you, you don't have to save this or click a button to save. This is all persistent, meaning it's saved on the go. So if you were to go into, like, let's say this workbench here, you should be able to see under army, well, I'm not going to do it now, but you should see under army that there's a massive table full of this stuff. Which in actual fact should be just here. Oh, actually it's not here, but it would be here. Regardless, that's really just that. Moving on, you can also create a corps. So if you want to create, let's say, a navy, you can. It won't actually shut, but this will end up shutting like this, and this will be updated with the same sliding animation. But in this case, I can just do that. I'm surprised it's not doing it anymore. Anyways, under navy, under here, you can just do whatever you want. The same principle applies. You can create crewmen. There's also a bug where it does do that, which is kind of annoying. Whoa, that actually looks smooth. Okay, I'm not sure what's going on there, but it happens from time to time. Which I'll work into looking into, should I? No, it's not create a new one. Okay, it appears it happens when I do that. Well, it's kind of good to note. Regardless, you can select this, for example, and do crewman. I don't know what the next rank is, but leading crewman, your discretion. And you can either move this up and down. For now, let's just keep it like that to piss people off. Go over here, refresh all, go to, I believe it should be, don't know why it's marked bold now, but whatever. Go under, I think it's under course? Yeah, course. And then under here, you should see leading crewman first, then the crewman as last. Which means we have created our stuff. So that's just a brief introduction to core. Well, I should put course with an S, but yeah. Regiments, however, again, I haven't really done this bit yet, so I'm sorry for that. I'll do it in the next little showcase, but in the meantime, just be patient. But regardless, you can still create a regiment. In this case, I'm going to do 5 first, because they're pretty cool. In actual fact, let's do that guy, because I like them most. So for example, if we want to create a regiment, we can. So if we want to do 501st Legion, we can. To which we can also do 501st, and then do Corps Troopers, Army, and then you. Sorry, this is all the ranking corps have done. If this is left empty, you cannot do anything with the regiment not created. So just bear that in mind. Also note this has to be short and precise. This will, of course, in certain scenarios it will go over UI, such as this little description underneath here, which you'll see in just a second. But, yep. This will appear in front of your name, and this will just be the name. You do have the option of creating event regiments or event, whatever you want to call it. So your discretion there to choose which faction they want to go into when you create, and then the base model. To which I'm going to create this regiment, which I need to choose a faction, which I just did then. And then once again refresh, and there's our description like usual, and nothing happens. But it does create our regiment, which I've just received something here. Yeah, that didn't work for some reason, but we shall investigate that later. Regardless, this will work like this, and it'll just be like that. For me, it'll be fine. For the server, it'll be a bit whack, only because at this current time, it's thinking, where the fuck, or how the fuck do I get to this stage, if I could say that. Anyways, but yeah. Just give me 1 second, sorry. Do if you add a regiment here. I see what I've done. Okay. The ID needs to be corrected, but yeah. Regardless, this will be +1. Anyways, that's really it for this one. I haven't done too much. Actually, I will do one more thing because I have finished this one, but I haven't done it properly in terms of creating it. But classes do work. In this case, I'm going to do heavy, if I can spell. And then in this case, you can also add how much they can, or how much on the default, which would be like 150 run speed, they can have, along with arm and HP. So if the default HP is 100, it'll add on 20, so 120 HP in total for heavy. And then description. Don't have to really explain that, do I? And then there's our heavy, which now, if we were to reconnect, actually we have to quickly reload our thing, our server. If we were to load, or not even load in, just load into Gary's mod, and were to, for example, try to edit any classes, I guess you could say, you can. Oh, that's the glitch I'm talking about, how they're at the very side. That's what I was referring to earlier. But it does do that occasionally, so I'm sorry. But yeah. So, you can also change the description. The name you can't, and I don't think you can remove it just yet. I haven't done that. But at this time, you can add a regiment. So in this case, we do have placeholder, which then you also will need a model, and then you can add that regiment as such. And now there's placeholder has a regiment, so it has that class to use. which then, of course, if you go over to your regimental leader in classes, it will show up here. Actually, it wouldn't. It will show up here as you can change class, but yeah. Anyways, that's about it for me. I'm sorry about the massive delay. I hope you guys I need to fix that. Hope you guys are enjoying yourselves, and I'll see you guys in the next showcase.